What's up, guys? Koolaid here. Got another episode of Killing Time with Koolaid for you today. Don't have a whole lot to talk about. Game update 14 is out. Not a real big update. One major thing for us infiltrators, of course, that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. First, I just want to give a little bit of update about what's going on. Said I was going to start doing advanced infiltration tips. Definitely working on that. Not lying about it. Those are kind of still coming up with a format for that. However, starting tomorrow, I'm going to start doing a mini series inside the Infiltrator's Handbook series, going over in detail all of the suit slots. There's been quite a few changes to those over the last few months, and I never really went too in depth in all those. And I've been playing around a lot lately with different ones, so I'm going to start going over those as how they pertain to the Infiltrator specifically. And just, they're going to be kind of like 4 or 5 minute videos about each one, and I should knock those out within a couple weeks. Pretty easy videos to do, so look forward to that, I guess. I'm going to do another series as well, and I don't want to be adding series to my channel because I barely have time to do what I want to do now. But this new series is just going to be a Kool-Aid Streak of the Week, where basically every Sunday night I will upload what I think is my best kill streak of the entire week. So it's literally going to take me 5 minutes to put that video up, and here is the least stealthiest flank you'll probably ever see by an infiltrator. A Galaxy coming in for the flank. But anyways, to talk about the Nano armor cloaking just a little bit, because I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do a video on this yet or not. Just want to give you guys a heads up in case you didn't read the patch notes exactly what got changed. It did get buffed significantly. The overall cloak time at max rank did get bumped up from 6 seconds to 8.5 seconds. And then the big buff was the recharge time. It used to take 24 seconds to recharge all the way from empty all the way to full. Now it is only going to take 11 seconds. So you're going to be able to stay cloaked with max rank of Nano armor cloaking, almost as long as you would with Hunter Cloak. It's a very big buff. It's going to make it completely viable, I'll tell you that right now. And I've only played with it for about a half hour. To be honest, I just basically used it like Hunter Cloaking. In fact, I actually forgot I was even using Nano armor cloaking, and that's actually one thing I want to talk about. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, because it's definitely buffed, it's definitely viable now, it's definitely a good cloak, but I think I would have gone about the buff in a completely different way. I actually think I would have only buffed the recharge time by about half. I would have probably still buffed the overall cloak time to 8.5 seconds where it's at now. That's still not a huge buff. But one thing I would have done is actually bumped up the damage reduction to about 50 or 60%. And the reason I would like to do that is because before, when I was using the Nano armor cloaking, it felt very different from Hunter Cloak. It felt like a cloak that you only used in a defensive spot. You rarely ever used it as an actual cloak for sneaking and stuff like that. And I think it gave an infiltrator a completely different option. Now, obviously, you can still do that, and you can still do it better the way it's buffed now, but you don't think about it like that as much. You think about it more as just a normal cloak. So the way I would have liked to seen it buffed is just to give it a still, kind of buff the duration like they did, but only probably about half as much, but then buff the damage reduction as well. That was just my idea. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, because it's definitely better. It's definitely a viable cloak now, and I don't know, after I play with it some more, I might do a full review on it in comparison to the Hunter Cloak. But I wanted to throw out some information right away for you guys, just so you didn't have to wait if you were wondering. I do think it's completely viable, and there's a good chance it might become, my go-to cloak when it's all said and done. So I'll keep you guys filled in, whether I do a full video on it, or whether I just mention it again in a Killing Time with Kool-Aid episode. I'll make sure to keep you guys informed on what my final thoughts are on that. So the next thing I want to talk about, because I've been getting a lot of questions, is the new pistols, and specifically the Desperado, because that's the only one that I've actually purchased so far. You guys have probably seen me use it quite a bit. I probably will be purchasing at least the new pistol for the VS, and I can't even think of the name of it right now. But since I have been playing so much VS Infiltrator, honestly, when it comes to pistols, for the NC at least, I like almost all of them, so I don't necessarily have a big preference one or the other. Basically, I was using the Rebel. The Underboss and Commissioner came out. There was something new, so I switched to the Underboss, which I did prefer a little bit more over the Commissioner. Switched to that. Now the new one came out again, the Desperado. I switched to that. It's basically, I'm using it because it's something new. I will say that I do like the Desperado, and I haven't, used it quite enough or focused on it enough to be able to give you guys a full review and say significantly that it's better than this or it's better than that. I do like it. It does feel a little bit inconsistent. The closest thing you can compare it to is a repeater for the TR, but it is way different. It does do a lot more damage. It has a slower rate of fire, and I hate the repeater for the TR. I absolutely hated it. But I do like the Desperado. I think the main thing is you just really, really have to be up in somebody's grill to be using it. Whereas something like the Underboss Commissioner, you can, pick people off from a little bit further away. You're going to get that distance. You're going to get a little more accuracy, a little more consistency. You're going to know exactly what you're going to get with those. The big problem with those, of course, is that you can't suppress them, obviously. But I don't know. It's just, there's advantages, disadvantages to each. I'll tell you guys right now that once the Stalker Cloak comes out, I'll probably do a way more in-depth analysis on pistols because, obviously when your pistol becomes your primary weapon as opposed to your secondary weapon, it's going to be incredibly important. And, at that time, I'm probably going to focus a lot on pistols, which one I really like, and, just kind of make sure that I'm using the exact one that's best for pistol only, which is going to be quite a bit different than what we have to do right now. So, I'll probably, like I said, go over that more in depth when Stalker Cloak actually approaches or actually does come out. But anyways, like I said, don't have a whole lot to talk about today, so I do have a good number of mailbag questions that we'll get to right now. Dark Druid SS wants to know, what are your thoughts on the mini chain gun as far as balance? To be honest with you, last night or 2 nights ago was the first night I used the mini chain gun since they buffed it, and I was completely blown away. It was unreal how good it was. I've used the jackhammer like for 10 minutes since I've come back from my break, since they buffed it, used it on 3-round burst, and I wasn't completely blown away. Some people I know in my outfit really love it. I'm still undecided on that, and I have not used the lasher. I actually do have that purchased, so I am going to try that out a little bit more. And, I might do a review on those. I'm not sure. I don't think I'll use the lasher or jackhammer enough, but that mini chain gun is absolutely ridiculous. I felt that it, I don't want to say it's overpowered. I only used it for about a half hour the other night, but I was racking up some kills with it. The whole thing that kind of threw me was when you can actually aim and really tighten up that cone of fire with it. Seemed kind of crazy. They did that, and then they buffed the so there's no spin up time. Like I said, I haven't used it enough yet. I will probably talk more about that, and you'll probably see some gameplay from me using that soon because it is a lot of fun. But other than that, I don't have a real strong opinion yet. I'll have to get those, some more playtime under my belt with all 3 of them before I really say one or the other is overpowered. Cohen Besmer wants to know, do you like pancakes? I didn't know there were people in this world that did not like pancakes. I will say I don't hardly ever get to eat pancakes. I never have pancake mix in my house, and most food that I make usually takes about 3 minutes to microwave, and that's about the gist of it. But yes, I do love pancakes. They are very tasty breakfast food. Coca Jack, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong again, wants to know, do you think Proxy Mines should have a charge-up time to prevent suicide bombers or pizza deliveries, whatever you want to call them? And my answer to that is no. The reason why, and I don't think that's a horrible question. I don't think it's like out there. I don't want to, villainize this guy for saying that just because I love Proxy Mines. But I don't think it would prevent them. I think I could still run into a group of people, drop them, and I think before anybody realized what was going on, I think they could sit there for 5 seconds and charge up. I don't think it would actually prevent suicide bombers or pizza deliveries at all. Where it would hurt me is when I'm using proxy mines to run away and I drop them as I'm running like around the corner. Then it might give time to a person time to bypass my mine, and I think it would prevent me from doing that. But I don't think it would prevent suicide bombers at all, actually. So no, I don't think they should have a charge up time. It's not a horrible idea, don't get me wrong. I see what you're getting at there. I just don't know that it would necessarily work. Adam McBannon wants to know that he's noticed that I've been using restoration kits, and I'm going to get blasted by my teammate after this nice little kill streak here. Boom. Wants to know, he's noticed me using resto kits, med kits lately. He wants to know what I prefer. Well, to be honest with you, I was using restoration kits, which I would not recommend over med kits. But I was using those because I was running low on supplies, and I actually had 40 of them saved up. I stockpile everything. And once I stopped using those, I did start using medical kits, and I've been using medical kits on my Infiltrator for about a week or two now. Both my VS Infiltrator and my NC Infiltrator, and I am really liking them. Now, that doesn't mean I like them over proximity mines. I'm planning on using them for a little bit longer, then going back to proximity mines and kind of deciding from there what I like. But what I do really like about the medical kits is it's going to allow you to get some really, really long kill streaks going. And if you guys have probably noticed that from my last few videos, my kill streaks have started getting a little bit longer. You know, I used to get a lot of like 8 to 10 kill streaks, and then I'd do something silly or die, or I'd be at such low health, I didn't stand much of a chance. My kill streaks, I've started getting, you know, closer to 15 to 20 kill streaks using SMGs, and that's a little longer than they used to be, and I'm liking that. It's fun, something new. But like I said, I will go back, try proximity mines once again, and just kind of, you know, see how it all plays out. More than likely, I'll just switch back and forth depending on what I'm really in the mood for. They're both really good. I don't think you really go wrong with either one. Ace Quat wants to know, what do you think of infiltrators having an ability to fight vehicles, such as hacking, disabling, or anti-material rifles? I honestly don't think we need it. I think the ability to bypass vehicles via cloak is kind of our way of getting around vehicles. I rarely die to vehicles. I know that's not the same thing. I know people want the ability to do something to them, and we're the only class that cannot. But cloaking is so strong, we have the ability to bypass him. I don't think we need anything really to kill or disable vehicles. I would like to see Sunder hacking. That's the only thing. You guys see me so often running around a Sunder, not having anything to do with it. I would like to see some sort of hack. I don't know what exactly it would be. If we could just hack the terminal so they couldn't, you know, change. Maybe if you hack both sides of the terminal, they can't spawn there anymore unless somebody hacks it back. Something like that I think would be good. Even, you know, one thing I've kind of thought about a little bit, and I've heard other people mention this as well, and I don't know how this would be implemented, and it might be kind of hard, is to do some sort of virus for hacking. You know, you hack a terminal, if somebody doesn't hack it back within 5 minutes, it blows up the Sunder. Something like that. I don't know. I honestly have not thought about that portion of it too much. That's kind of out there a little bit. But I really don't think we need an ability to especially blow up vehicles. I don't think we really need to disable vehicles. Now, if EMPs... One thing that could work is if EMPs disabled the optics in a vehicle, made it so really you couldn't aim a projectile, you know, in case you do get stuck out in the open, or in case you want to strategize with somebody else. I think that would be alright, but I don't think we need to disable the whole vehicle. I think that might be a little bit too much, especially with our complete ability to bypass vehicles by going stealth. I know, like, if we had C4 and we could stealth up to a tank at C4, it'd be absolutely ridiculous. Anti-material rifles, I don't know how those would be implemented. Again, I haven't thought about that too much. That might work, but they would have to, you know, tread lightly when doing that. You'd have to give up something in order to use them. So I haven't thought about it overly too much, but I don't necessarily think we need that ability. It would definitely be cool. Don't get me wrong. I would definitely have some fun with it, especially Sunder hacking or something along those lines. But like I said, just don't think we need it. That's pretty much all I have for the mailbag. Keep sending them or asking me them questions. I love doing these. One thing I do want to address quick is that I've been getting a lot of questions about Hassan. Will I do a video about Hassan? There are so many good ones. Most of you probably know Youngblood by now. If you do not, he's featured one of my featured channels. Click on him, and he does a really, really good Hassan walkthrough. In fact, I'll just leave it in the link. You guys can click on that. I am not going to do a Hassan walkthrough. I don't have enough time to really play and make videos as it is, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on the test server. It's just how I am right now. Sorry, apologize if you guys really wanted to see something from me, but there are a lot of good Hassan videos out there. Like I said, I'll leave a link to one, Youngbloods, in case you have not seen it yet. And he does a really, really good fly through and explains a lot of what's going on in there. But anyways, guys, that is all I have. Let me know if you have any suggestions for the series, the channel, for any Infiltrator's handbook stuff you want to see. Let me know. Advanced infiltration tips is something that I'm going to start working on very soon, and if you have any suggestions for that as well, let me know. But that is all I have. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.